Thanks to the narcissistic content creators on social media, everyone is familiar with the term narcissism. Why narcissistic content creators? Because they are abusing this word, the narcissism word. They're using this card, and they have used this or abused this term, and it has become the F word. They're just trying to earn money, and they're just trying to make viral content. They just see somebody talk about a topic and they just copy paste other people's ideas so that they can have more and more views. They're just thinking about themselves. They don't even know, and they don't even care what are going to be the consequences of what they are doing. This is in itself a form of narcissism. And why are we taking terms and meanings and definitions from them? Why are we even believing the content that we are getting from the social media? What authority do these people have who are throwing this content on social media platforms where nobody is checking their credibility? Yes, every disease has a form of spectrum. Nobody is 100% textbook follower of any disease form. Nobody carries a disease to the 100%. Nobody follows it like the textbook says it. So we must consider that someone might have 10%, someone else might have 20%, someone else might have 50, 80, 90, or even 200% of the same disease. So no two cases are bound to follow textbook diagnosis. How can we just take a term, twist it, and start applying it on different people in our lives? The spectrum of narcissism can range from healthy self-esteem to pathological personality disorder. How can we just take it and copy paste it or just start applying it on different people? So this term is really abused these days. There can be a normal form of narcissism, which is a balanced self-esteem, self-worth. They can handle criticism. They're not very reactive, but they have this urge to excel and succeed in life. Then there is a moderately narcissistic person who will have a borderline, like very little towards the extreme side, but basically an attitude problem sort of a person. Then there is a personality disorder form of narcissism in which you will see a good expression of all the traits of a narcissist. Like they will not listen to anybody. They will just want to do what they want to do. They will just think their opinion is the right opinion, and so on and so forth. And there is a overt narcissist and there is a covert narcissist. So overt narcissist would be a characteristic narcissist, is like, the person you should look out for. And it is quite open to see that this is a overt narcissist. But the covert narcissist is the opposite. That is like a victim mentality. That is like somebody who feels that, everyone is against them and everyone is trying to ruin them, and so on and so forth. So, and the narcissistic personality disorder also goes slightly towards the malignant or toxic level. So what do you do with such toxic people? Well, you cannot change the toxic narcissist. You cannot change or have a win. Even if you fight, even if you engage, you confront, you will not be able to win. So practice not becoming affected by their statements or behaviors if you are bound to be with them. But if you can, run. Cut contacts when psychological, physical, or financial abuse is involved. One of the biggest problems or one of the biggest challenges when faced with a malignant narcissist is that the victim really becomes attached and there is a lot of trauma bonding involved. And in that case, I don't know if it is the narcissist or it is the victim who is to be blamed more, because the victim does not even try to break free. So it's just like a conflict of definitions. But if somebody, like for example, the narcissist does not want a person, let's say a person B, and the person B is thinking about themselves only and they do not want to leave the person A who is a narcissist, then isn't it a bit like both of them are selfish, both of them are headstrong, both of them are trying to do what they want? So things get complicated, and like all things, I guess relationships are a little complicated. So we have to learn to be wise. We have to learn to not be manipulative, and even victims become manipulative. So this topic is more sensitive and has to be dealt with more sensitivity than is being offered on social media platforms. Relationships are a sensitive matter, especially husband-wife relationships, and when there are children involved. So, how do we approach this topic? We approach this topic by educating ourselves. We take the wiser approach, and we do not take all our definitions from social media, from TikTokers, from underaged people who just wish to slap a label on someone and blame. It's like a blame game, They just want to blame somebody for their laziness and for their lack of self-discipline or for their attitudes. So it's really, really, really sad how people have just started playing label games and nobody wants to take the responsibility for their actions. So once again, if we want to look at an example, Shaitan is a malignant narcissist because Shaitan had no objective trying to make everybody fail. And this is also one of the reasons why we cannot take our definitions, our norms from the West, because they just rule it out completely. They will not even talk about Shaitan or devil when they are doing somebody's therapy or suggesting a medicine. They also do not indulge in the discussion of tazkiyah of nafs. They will not talk about nafs. They will not tell you to make lots of dua. They will not tell you to seek help in patience and prayer. They will not tell you to be selfless like the Ansar model. They will not tell you from Seerah examples how the Sahaba, they were selfless on many occasions. How people gave their own lives to save the life of the Prophet ﷺ. How people left everything and migrated for the cause. So we have in the past, we have in the Quran and Sunnah and Seerah, we have lots of examples in which we can learn how to be selfless. There is an example of Sahaba where 3 Sahaba, they were almost at the brink of embracing Shahada and they were all thirsty. And one left the water for the second one. The second one said, give it to the third one. And when the third one passed away thirsty, and then second one, he came back to the second one, he passed away without drinking the water, and the first one also passed away without drinking the water. Even at the moment of death, look at the selflessness. I did not at all describe the incident as beautifully as it is, but if you just think about it, if you think about this incident where 3 Sahaba are embracing Shahada and they are thirsty, crying for water, and somebody takes water to them and they say, give it to my brother, give it to my brother. And all 3 of them embrace Shahada without having a sip of water. May Allah increase their ranks and may Allah help us understand how to be selfless. If you look at the modern day therapists and coaches and mentors, even the Western world is screaming about the art of selflessness. And they're also advocating and suggesting again and again, repeatedly, they're telling you if you want to be successful, become charitable, share, care, and basically become philanthropists and empaths. Even if you look at big business models and you start looking at how much charity they do, then you realize, okay, that's why they're getting the returns. So the narcissistic model, basically the malignant narcissism, it has no place in Islam. You cannot be a narcissist in Islam. On the contrary, you're supposed to be constantly cutting yourself and checking on yourself and auditing yourself to turn yourself into a selfless person. And maybe that is what you gain when you get taqwa, when you realize that you might die tomorrow. That is why the practice of always remembering your death was introduced by the Prophet ﷺ. He used to ask the Sahaba. He used to ask questions, ﷺ. And he would ask, who amongst you remembers death? And as we know that remembering death is one of the best means of developing the habit of taqwa, strengthening your taqwa. So when you have taqwa, when you do constant zikr, when you remember Allah Ta'ala, when you always try to do, when you seek Allah's help in doing everything that Allah likes, then you slowly, you do become a selfless person. A moment cannot harm another person. You cannot harm another person either by your tongue or deed or action. By your tongue or your hand, you cannot hurt another Muslim. You are supposed to like for yourself, like for others, what you like for yourself. So time and again, we have been reminded, like even if you have a slave, you're supposed to feed him and clothe him with the same things, same standards, same level of things that you feed yourself, your children, your family, and the clothes that you buy for yourself. You cannot discriminate. So there is no discrimination in Islam. There is no bossy attitude, so to speak, in Islam. You cannot be a headstrong person that you don't listen to other people. You're supposed to seek counseling. And the authority, the ultimate authority is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You are not supposed to feel that you're the one and only one, the one and only. There is no such thing. Nobody in the world is the one and only. And the biggest cutter, the thing that slaughters or beheads narcissism is evil eye. I mean, we don't even have to go so far. Evil eye itself is one of the greatest things that beheads the concept of my supremacy or my being unique and the only one. So we are slaves of Allah. We have everything. We are beggars of Allah. We beg Allah for great companions. We beg Allah for all the blessings He has created for us in both the worlds. We beg Allah for His mercy, for His acceptance in everything we do. And this is not done yet. Inshallah, there will be more sessions to come.